Raider Nation, what is going on, man? Coming to you guys ahead of our Week 2 matchup with the New Orleans Saints in the unofficial home opener for the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, last week, we had Week 1, the first official game in Las Vegas for the Raiders. But now it's going to be the unofficial home opener. And I say unofficial because I see the official home opener as being next year, whenever the stadium is packed out full of fans. But don't let that discourage you. This week, I kind of made sure I went all out with my plans, did the best that we could, and we settled. If you're watching this now, make sure you subscribe to the channel because this Monday night, as soon as this video is done, I'm packing up. We're going to Vegas. And we're going to set up at a place called Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. They're at like 50% capacity. They're doing all the mask requirements, everything, following all safety guidelines, doing what we need to do. And we're going to be set up there on stage. Joining me is going to be my guy Murph from Murph's Fan Cave, my guy Kenny King Jr. We're going to have a few other people there contributing, helping out, interviewing people. But we're going to broadcast the entire game. The entire game. I shouldn't say broadcast the game, but we're going to broadcast the watch party behind us, right? We're kind of partnering up. The Raider homies are having a big watch party there on Monday. We're going to get there early. Make sure you get there early if you're going. But we're going to be broadcasting from about 5 o'clock, so 15 minutes before kickoff, and we're going to live stream all the way through the game, discuss play-by-play. We're not going to be showing a whole lot. We'll have kind of just like a play-by-play action, do everything to stay within the guidelines, the proper guidelines of YouTube. And then, of course, doing our post-game show. So a lot of action. Make sure you're subscribed. But like I said, 1-0. We need 2 wins. It's cool to be undefeated, and it feels sweet. Victory Monday was great, but Victory Tuesday this week would be even better. So let me tell you guys something. I'm absolutely amped to get into this topic because this opponent isn't like last week. This opponent's going to be tough, and this opponent's going to show us what we're made of. So let's get into it. First off, let's talk about injuries. Now that we got through the first week of football, injuries are kind of crazy all over the league. Obviously, it's most likely because of the shortened off season, guys not getting really full contact football, kind of being restricted to contact all off season, and then getting thrown in with no preseason, no nothing. You're just out there live action going 100% trying to get that win. So obviously that resulted in more injuries than normal. The Raiders, of course, scared me at one point. I think I even said in the postgame I was almost nauseous seeing some of our guys getting hurt. I hate that. I hate the reason of anything going against us being because of health or injuries, something that you can't control, right? So obviously now looking on the other side, looking at the New Orleans Saints, they obviously lost their star wide receiver, Michael Thomas, most likely for a few weeks. I mean, it's not like completely 100%, but he's doubtful for the game. Pretty bad ankle sprain, so I wouldn't expect Michael Thomas to be out there this week, maybe not even next week, maybe not even the week after that, depending on how he recovers. They also have their starting right guard, Cesar Ruiz. He's going to be he's dealing with also an ankle injury. I'm not sure the extent of that. He's listed as questionable, so that's going to be something to watch, their right guard. Also, their starting defensive end, Marcus Davenport. He's dealing with like an elbow injury, so that's another thing to track. There's a few guys out there. I know there's like a backup corner that they have injured. Kiko Alonso's out for like 8 weeks or half the season, something like that. But on their side of the ball, not too bad. Besides, what really stands out is Michael Thomas. That's a big hit. It's a big hit, especially for an offense last week that struggled. So, we'll get more into that. So looking at the Raiders now, kind of cleaning house where we sit right now, and that's Nick Kwiatkowski. He's most likely out with a pec injury. I would imagine most likely. I think it's something that he can play through maybe after a week or two, let him heal up. That's okay. We can deal with that. I think insert at that point, I'm not sure who's going to be wearing the green dot. Maybe it would be Nicholas Morrow again like last week. Maybe Corey Littleton takes on the role. Who really knows? But Nick Kwiatkowski, I expect him to be out. Trent Brown, after playing 3 snaps last week and then stepping out of the game, they end up going in for like an MRI to get him checked out, see what was all involved. Seemed to be clear. No serious injury, and he's actually cleared to play or cleared to try and play Monday. So I think it's kind of up to him depending on what he can play through pain tolerance-wise. That's a whole nother topic I'm not going to get into. I just want to see how number 77 does if he can get healthy and get out there on the field. That's honestly all I care about. We're better with him on the field. I'd like to see him out there, and I'd like to be able to see us get that win with him on the field. Sam Young, his backup, came in, played well. Pancaked a dude. I seen him pancake a dude after the infamous Cindy Gruden Tiger Woods. You know the whole story. By the way, that's for those that don't know. John Gruden knows all the audibles. He probably makes pretty much most of them up. So whatever, all the rumors that float around, all the weird stuff, don't even just write it off. So Sam Young, I know he was dealing with a groin injury. We're going to track that, see if he's able to play. But now I expect them to obviously activate Brandon Parker. I haven't heard of them, bringing in another tackle. So maybe they're just expecting Denzel Good to still be able to fill that role. I'd be interested to see who they insert first, if it is Denzel Good or Brandon Parker. Ultimately, Denzel Good played pretty well. So we'll have to see kind of, I guess, how that plays out. And that also, I think, led to maybe Jason Witten getting some more snaps. Shout out to my buddy Vince here locally. He did kind of point that out. It seemed like Jason Witten outsnapped Foster Morrow, maybe because he was keeping him in there to help, kind of chip block and help out the very green, the very fresh rookie, basically, right tackle in Denzel Good. So I think that could have been, the snap issue. And now going to Henry Ruggs, I thought it was initially an ankle injury that he was dealing with. Now it's looking like it was his knee that was tweaked. And as long as it's a minor knee injury, I think he's going to pretty much be playing through it just fine. I think he kind of was out there as a decoy last week just to, make sure that it's not going to turn into something crazy. So that's okay if they, kind of just, walked him along last week, the second half of the game. But I want to see him get it back out there, and I want to see him get back in action. I want to see us take some more deep shots, guys. We needed that. Whenever we lost that aspect, I think, then it was an issue. So, of course, the knee is one thing. Now, there's one thing here, guys, real quick that I want to tell you about. As Raiders fans, we're looking at a winning season, right? Well, guess what? Winning season also returns at MyBookie. Winning season means doubling your first deposit. Winning season means insane props, epic bonuses, and the craziest cross-sport wagers. At MyBookie, winning season means watching live sports and betting live sports all season long. So get ready, right? Raiders football is back. I mean, that means what? Super Bowl, right? Raiders are undefeated right now. We got Josh Jacobs, Offensive Player of the Year. Derek Carr, MVP. Who knows? But here's one way you can find out. Get in on the action. Use promo code RaiderCody, all one word, RaiderCody, and double your first deposit with MyBookie. New players get up to $1,000 in free play, designed to add more excitement to the sports you love and the games you bet. Bet with the best this NFL season for your chance to win big. Like I said, use promo code RaiderCody, all one word, and double your first deposit. I go put in $100, I'm getting $200 with promo code RaiderCody. Your winning season begins today, only at MyBookie. So here's a few things that I want to talk about that are going to be keys that I'm going to be watching on Monday night. This is how we're going to wrap it up. And the first thing I'm going to look at is Drew Brees facing off against this young secondary. Last week I saw us kind of getting picked apart a little bit, getting warmed up, gave up. I saw like one or two pretty big plays that we could have kept under control. Of course, I think our focus was on Christian McCaffrey. That was our main focus, trying to keep him cool. He still ended up having a pretty good game, but that's okay. That's all right. Well, we'll deal with that. We'll take it. Him having some record-setting day, dealing with Christian McCaffrey in a new offense, new look, something we don't expect. I think we did all right against Christian McCaffrey. Funny thing, actually, we're going to see a familiar face this week, Jared Cook. Interested to see how that turns out. But now, don't get me wrong. Drew Brees coming in here, scary, right? You're thinking why? Well, not you, me. I'm thinking, how in the world are they going to schedule a home opener in Las Vegas? This is going to be our first game as the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. Going to open up our new stadium, and you're going to send Drew Brees in there? Give me a break. But here's also what I see. I see them not being the Drew Brees, offense that they've always been. This is kind of a very defensive-focused team. Their offense, in a way, I think is, I don't want to say second fiddle, but they're really reliant on the play of their defense right now because after last week, the Saints right now are 31st in yards per play this season. They're averaging 4.2 yards per play. That is second to last in the NFL. So last week they obviously struggled. They lost Michael Thomas. He wasn't really he wasn't out there 100%. So now not having him at all, it's going to be interesting to see what that turns into. So the next person you got to look at with no Michael Thomas, right? You're looking at Alvin Kamara. I mean, don't get me wrong. They still have a good group, depth of wide receivers there in New Orleans. They're going to survive. The pass game is going to be active just because there's no Michael Thomas. It does not matter. So getting into Kamara. Kamara last week ran for 1.3 yards per attempt. Ooh, I mean, that's nice to hear, right? But seeing a struggling offense, the defense needs to capitalize. They might have struggled last week against the Bucs, but the Raiders got to make sure we're on our game, and we need to get Kamara back to that same scale. The only reason they won last week was because of their defense. I see their defense as a top 10 defense easily, if not a top 5 last week for sure. So I'm seeing this offense as something that we can use as a bounce back week, a confidence builder. We need to get that momentum going. I think we have a little bit in offense. We were able to score when we wanted to. We were able to take a pretty good lead. We were able to take some big shots. And I'm hoping that rolls into a good defense, right? I'm hoping that rolls into, or should I say with this good defense, because we're going to need that. We're going to need those big plays. We're going to need those times of taking shots down the field. We need a healthy Henry Ruggs out there. We need a Josh Jacobs that's going to be blowing up the box and allowing the secondary and everybody creeping up and allowing us to take shots down the field. I'd like to see us, hey, maybe we didn't get a whole lot of Foster Moreau inserted there. Maybe we see him more this week. I didn't see a whole lot of Bryan Edwards. I only saw, one catch? Maybe we see some Bryan Edwards, a little secret weapon. Yeah, am I right? Secret weapon? Bryan Edwards, maybe? Zay Jones? We got some guys out there that, didn't get touches last week. Derek still spread it around to 9 different wide receivers. So we have a lot of options to work with, and I'm hoping now, we've talked about this, we can be so many different looking teams out there, especially on offense. I'm hoping now we have the ability to go into this week with New Orleans and give them something completely different. Still have that identity, still make the big plays, still utilize Josh Jacobs, but roll out with different formations and give them different looks, because that's what we're going to have to do to be able to beat this defense. We can't go out there looking like we did against the Carolina Panthers, because they're going to eat us up. It ain't going to work like that. So I think this is going to heavily rely on what the offense can do, because I think the defense, until they can mesh, I have confidence in the defense. I really do. The young secondary I think is going to start clicking. I can't wait to see Max Crosby, really kind of get used to that new, because he bulked up. He's bigger. So he's gonna get used to that body. You didn't see a whole lot of him last week. Of course, teams are keying on him and Cleveland Farrell. So when you start getting even more into game shape and you start getting used to playing with that body weight, you're going to start getting on a roll. So I'm looking forward to see if Max can start that off a little bit week 2 for us. But hopefully once that young secondary here in the next few weeks, we can see some progress and we can see him start clicking. Hopefully we can stay healthy. That's kind of the main key. Jonathan Abram, man, is a one-man wrecking crew. Last week we saw Jonathan Abram and Christian McCaffrey going at it. Well, I am so looking forward to Jonathan Abram and Alvin Kamara. I mean, that's going to be a battle, and that's going to be interesting. This team is the Saints team, man. They got some attitude to them, but this Raiders defense does too. I think the play is going to come with it, right? You start meshing. I'm looking forward to see Corey Littleton out there more, things like that. So Jonathan Abram and Alvin Kamara is going to be a matchup for the ages, just like it was last week with Christian McCaffrey. Jonathan Abram versus any star player on the offense is going to be a matchup. Of course, maybe not the quarterback, because that's just one, that's a little different element. You get him in a ball carrier situation or with a wide receiver, I think it's going to be great. I love seeing him jaw after the play and everything going on. So here's another tidbit that I want to see. This is my prediction right now. This is how I'm going to end this video. And that's going to be not only the Raiders get the win. That's my prediction, right? Obviously. We're going 2-0 this week. You don't go in, and here's my thing: I'm never gonna predict a Raiders loss. First of all, I've never woke up on Sunday or game day. I've never woken up on game day thinking the Raiders were gonna lose. I always thought they could win. But not only are they gonna win, the Saints right now have a 44-game streak of not allowing a 100-yard rusher. So they haven't allowed the opposing running back to rush for 100 yards in over 44 games, and that's not not total rushing yards. That is an individual player. They have not had a 100-yard rusher. So I think Josh Jacobs breaks that 100 yards in rushing, and we come away with the W. That's my prediction. So like I said, if you made it this far, make sure you subscribe. Told you this earlier. Tommy Rockers, Monday night. If you're going to be there, get there early. Get there, I'd say by noon. Treat it like a tailgate. Get there early. Reserve your spot. Come with a few people. Group up. They want to see you in groups, not individuals. So get there in groups. If not, doesn't matter. Subscribe. I'm going to be live like 4 hours on game day. Even if you can't be there or don't want to be there, don't choose to be there, I get it. There's a lot going on right now. You can still sit back, hang out, and watch us all, Raider Nation, going nuts at this watch party, because it's just going to be wild. It's going to be fun. It's going to be energetic. I'm looking forward to finally getting back together with this fan base since last year. So that's it. Raiders win. Josh Jacobs over 100 yards. Derek Carr going to continue this MVP season. Let's go. Let's get this thing going, guys. Defense going to get meshing. I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you guys Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific. See ya.